Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. I've got Casey from Playster. We're going to be going over how to actually get more business using content that you create. Hopefully, it's through the Playster world because they make it much easier and relevant. But first, dude, you're out of the Boston-ish area?
We're in Boston. I got my Boston maps behind me, my New England maps behind me. So,
all right. Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching it only on TikTok and TV. The World Cup, Scotland. What the hell happened with Scotland and Boston?
We could do a separate webinar. It has been electric here. So we're in downtown Boston. My kids and I, we walk to school, walk everywhere. We walk by a few pubs, no matter where we go. And the people, we get bagpipes. My 4-year-old's asking about, are those guys in skirts, Dad? And my older son's, that's a kilt. That's a kilt. You know, we wear kilts. So it's been so fun. Cones are flying everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're sad they're leaving. We want them to stay.
That's so cool. Well, what other games are playing in Boston?
We've got, I think it's an English match, which I'll tell you what, I've never seen the Scots light up more than when somebody else scores a goal against the English. That was the other fun thing I learned in this process, is not like who they cheer for, it's also who they cheer against.
Nice.
And so it's been good, man. The city's on fire right now. We love it.
Beautiful. I've been watching Boston and I'm like, wow, that's a whole different experience than what we're experiencing. It's fun in LA, but let me tell you, Boston,
the walkability around here, it changes everything. You just get people from all over the world that are pouring in. So cool. It's been a fun time to be in the city. I'll say that. Not even a big soccer fan, and now I feel like I'm hooked.
Dude, I love that. Well, you know what? You may end up with some Scots moving to Boston. So
my next door neighbors, I'm welcoming in open arms here.
That's the best. All right, everybody, let us know what city, state, country you're from, so we can jump right into this. What we're going to show you works. It works everywhere. It doesn't matter. We tried exactly what Casey is going to talk about. We tried it. Casey, we tried this in anticipation to this on Monday. So what is that? A week ago?
Yep.
We tried this on Monday, and it was a specific article having to do with Father's Day in the Conejo Valley.
Okay.
Right? 2 days later, we ranked not just on page 1, but we ranked number 1 top article, and on this phrase, and the AI overview on Google grabbed it. So we became one of theirs. It took 2 days.
When it works, it works. And that's like, I mean, we'll jump into this, but it's nice when there's a playbook that you can see that's repeatable, because the worst thing you can do is you do something one time, you get the dopamine of like, look, I showed up. And then a week later, somebody ate your lunch and you're like, where do I go from here?
Well, that's why I love you guys, because you built the schema, right? The right structure behind recreating this, so we don't have to recreate it ourselves. Let me go through and say hello to everybody really quick. Patricia from Sosua, Dominican Republic, welcome.
Oh, DR, hello.
Patricia, nice to have you here. Nadia from Alva, Florida. Judy, what's up, Judy? From Cave Creek, Arizona. I haven't seen you for a while, Judy. Daniel, Orlando, Florida. David, is it Metuchen, New Jersey? I don't know how to say that, David. Sorry, buddy. James, where is it? Maybe you know how to say it. Is it Metuchen?
I'm tri-state area, but we're Italian, so it's like anything like put a little Italian spin on.
Yeah, that's hilarious. James, Georgia, Becky, Oregon, Narayan, Pittsburgh. Oh, we've got Vancouver Island. I love Vancouver Island. That's cool. And then it keeps going. Everybody, let us know what city, what state, what country you're from. All right, Casey, where do we start with creating the right content? Consistently, so we can get business from this.
So I'm going to present here. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to talk about, I think there's a 3-step process. And what I've done, and I've made this mistake previously where like, I try to jump right into like topics that are good for blogs, which is a whole thing. We can talk about topics. I'm going to throw some suggestions out there, but I just want to reiterate that the topic is one piece of it. But then there's something else you have to do from like being found to this actually creating an opportunity. So when we get to this engage part, step number 3, I want to talk about how you can create new opportunities with new people, as well as new opportunities with your existing sphere. Because I hate when we neglect the people that are sitting there in our CRMs or our phone books, and we think so much about like, well, where's the next person who I don't know yet, or doesn't know me? Okay, well, like, let's see if we can have our cake and eat it too. So first we'll talk about that content that I think will set you up and put you in a position for buyers and sellers to actually find you. And I think the second bullet, like, we talk about this a lot when we'll do in person and we're talking about, why would somebody want to work with you, building trust and value. And I think you just need to remember that that goes beyond like a physical relationship that you have with somebody, right? Hey, I'm working with somebody. I'm on time. I follow through. Okay, well, guess what? Your website is still your digital office. So you got to do the same types of things in order to get to that moment where when you go to engage with them and you ask them for a name or a phone number or whatever it is, you're doing that strategically, but then they have a reason to actually want to talk to you. Because let's face it, there's very little information that any of us could really supply that somebody couldn't probably go do 2 or 3 searches and get it for free. And when I say for free, I mean, they don't have to fill out their information and feel like, oh, do I really want someone calling me or emailing me? So that's something we're going to touch upon too, because I think it's important. All right.
I love it. Can I go over one phrase you just said?
Yeah.
And guys, if for any reason the streaming stopped, just log in and log back, log out and log back in, and it works perfectly. Sometimes when we get a lot of people like this, it jams it a little bit. But go ahead and jump off, jump back in. You said something, I wrote it down. Your website is still your digital office. I think that applies more now than ever, because when our website's done well, when we're trying to create the right content to attract business, we're not just being found on Google anymore. We're being found on AI.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. And your actual clients are going to go there too. Right. So it's like people use the phrase all the time, like, don't write for the algorithms. And we kind of figured that out down here, right? The old way, and the old way is not dead. And so I like to remember or remind people that the overlap between SEO and AEO is still strong, but the approaches, right, they're not one-to-one. And so the idea of writing for keywords or trying to like, jam a bunch of stuff in there for the algorithm to figure it out, number one, it's usually not great content for the people that are going to end up consuming it. And then number two, it doesn't necessarily help you out on this kind of new frontier that we've been talking endlessly about, which is the AEO, the AIO. And so I put this up there as a reminder to people that you're now writing for questions. And in a lot of ways, like I did a new agent training. This is maybe like a month ago. And a woman, she had been in the industry for maybe like 3 months. She said to me, she said, I really like blogging. I said, well, what about blogging? She said, I used to be a teacher. And the thing that I used to do as a teacher is I used to always write down the questions that my students would ask me, and I'd write the answers down. But I always wrote it as like the question first, because that's how my students learned was, oh, well, they see the question, right? And so for her, even brand new to the industry, I love that she came in with this, oh, I know that people are going to ask me about, well, like, what are closing costs? Like, I don't really understand it. What does it mean? And so then if you can write content like that, number one, it's great for AEO and to be found. But number two, chances are your consumers are going to eat it up because it's exactly what they're hoping to find when they get out there.
All right, I'm going to go with 2 things on this one, man. Number one, we've got old traditional SEO, the new AEO, AIO. My friend calls it AEIOU. Just do everything. And I laughed. I knew you'd laugh, Casey.
I like that one.
Oh, me too. I'm like, oh, this is AEIOU. So Old MacDonald had a farm. Remember that. You'll get it right somehow, right?
I will steal that from your friend, so please give him or her
credit. Dude, use it all day long. You know what I stole from you guys? Because you guys, I've been hanging around with you since I visited Boston that time with you guys.
Yep.
I was so entrenched with you guys that I caught, thing 1 and thing 2. You guys do that all the time.
All the time.
And I learned that from you guys.
Matt and Seth, that was a a thing we've taken from them that I think is
Terrible,
indoctrinated
terrible.
all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
Um,
indoctrinated. The next thing is on the previous page where you're
yeah.
going through what what that teacher was talking about. Uh, a key thing that a friend of mine, Sean Cannell, he has 3 something million followers on YouTube. Think Media. He's been around for a long time.
Yep.
He said something very similar to what you said, and that's answer specific questions. He calls it ASQ. It's in his book,
I like that.
just on YouTube. But when you apply that, you really apply that to how the world works with AI right now. If you just remember one thing that Casey said, it's that. If you answer specific questions and you niche down even more, like Casey, I'm thinking if I answer a specific question, like you mentioned, how much is my payment going to be in, right?
Yep.
For buying a house, add, oh, what city are you in? What
Yep.
track, what neighborhood? You get
Yep.
really specific and you have better results. That's what I wanted to add.
No, I love that. I mean, specificity is going to be one of your advantages alongside of locale. I hate when people still have this like, I'm always going to lose to Zillow or homes.com mentality. Because one of the things that all of these local agents and brokers that I meet and talk to every day, number one, they have real world experience, right? They have gone with a first time home buyer and had to do credit repair and like still landed somebody in their dream home in a particular area. Like talking about these stories and using real life examples. I mean, that's like, it's storytelling that we all love, right? We all gravitate towards good storytellers. And so, if anybody's sitting there going like, well, what do I do? Just take like your 2 or 3 favorite experiences that you've had, even if they're kind of muddy and, dirty in the sense of like they were hard and maybe you even screwed up along the way. Who cares? That's like exactly the kind of thing that people will want to gravitate towards because that's how we all think. And that's how we're now going to these, to these AIs to talk to it, right? Like not in a weird way. You should see the conversations. I love, my voice. So like, I love talking to the AI and getting into like real conversations as if it's, another person I'm talking to. And so having content that's going to fulfill that conversational void with stories, I think is amazing. These 3 are my favorite, right? I love the your market perspectives. I live in downtown Boston, like we talked about.
Mhm.
Guess who's not writing about how fun it's been with the World Cup here and the Scots and the cones flying around? Zillow's not creating that content, right?
No.
Home.com's not. Like this is the big players out there that are, sitting up in an ivory tower somewhere. They're not out in the streets like the rest of us. And so I urge people to blend qualitative and quantitative. We did a session and maybe we'll share the link for the last session in the email to this one too. We use Playster's AI content generator inside of our editor to write these articles for us. And now remember, the AI doesn't know Tristan or Casey's how we walk around the street and experience it. But I mean, it gave us 85% of a done article that then I got to spend my time putting in my own perspective and flair. And so that's that blend of qualitative and quantitative that I think AI can bring to the table for you. And I think it's immensely engaging for AEO, but also for your consumers. So your market perspective, don't lose sight of the your part in this. Okay.
Perfectly said.
Next, local lifestyle guides. The days of like, let's think Austin, Texas, home buyer's guide, like that stuff is done. People want to know for real, how are things in that area? And so obviously we want to think about getting people interested in real estate, right? That's the goal of this. But more importantly, in that bullet point number 2 around creating value, you can create value that goes beyond just the transaction itself. And so that remembering, like we use this example too, we get a lot of transplants from New York City, and New York City to Boston, it is not the same place. And so my wife actually came from New York before she came to Boston. And like, I could write books and, I could write a million blog posts about her comparison, the good and the bad. And it's like the real thing. It's what people experience. So remembering to take what it's like to live or work or eat in an area and talk about it from the different people you meet.
Ooh.
So transplants, we see that a lot. We see people that are expanding. We see people that are, downsizing. We see all these different versions of how people are going through a local area. And it's okay to talk about them, even if you're not the one going through it. Chances are you can pull from somebody in your community that is.
Dude, you could tell a story off of every person you've helped, because you could also say, hey, somebody, so that people, you can get the good AEIOU, right? But if I'm saying, hey, I just helped somebody moving from really the city next door and they upgraded. Here was the process. Here's the things they found different. Or I found somebody who's moving from Oregon to Ventura County, California. Here's what they experienced, right? It's almost like you're purposefully knowing that you're going to write this, so you're asking the right questions and paying attention to the details.
Yes.
So you have something to write that matters.
Having details. I love that you put the word detail in there, because the details of what, like you said before, somebody moving from location A to Boston, their pros and cons are going to be different than somebody moving from location B to Boston. And then when you talk to your buyers and sellers about this, or even your friends and family, even if you didn't help them, right? You weren't the one that they transacted with. Ask them these questions so you can put this perspective out there. And then that perspective is what's going to draw people in when they're coming from those no market changes or the situations they're in. So that one is big. Buying and selling process. I think I put this on one of my slides. It might've been with you guys, where people don't want to feel dumb, right? And there's so many things about the real estate process that they're so intuitive to the professional, to the buyer or seller agent. They do it all day long. They've taken classes on it. People who sold their home 15 years ago, okay, they need a refresher. And they probably feel stupid asking questions that may seem basic to the agent. And so what do? We go to the place where we feel like we're safe and we can ask dumb questions, which is the internet, right? We can erase our own search history. So getting questions out there in super layman's terms, I think the more basic you can go with this, the better, because chances are your buyers and sellers aren't as familiar as you may think they are. So it applies to your existing clients. And this is going to apply to all those new people that are thinking that same, ooh, is this dumb for me to ask it? Be the one to answer the dumb questions, because guaranteed they're not dumb to everybody else.
I agree.
All right. We got a couple content topics. That's great. Now, what does AEO want from all your blogs, right? Placer does these two on the left automatically, just with every single piece of content that we create or you create. The site briefing files and the structured data, right? We've talked a lot about this. This is one of those. I got a stat on the next slide that reinforces it. This is now table stakes if you want to be found. This is no longer like a nice to have, like it'd be good if I include it. It's like, if you just want to be out there and you want to show up at all and even have a chance, you need to have these on your site. Again, we did this a while ago when we first started seeing signals in the market that this is where the ball was going. And so now that, everyone else is talking about it, we love that we do this for our clients automatically.
I'm going to tell everybody here really quick something, and then I'll answer the question, then I'll go back to the slide. If everyone could snapshot this, because this is important. For some of you, EEAT may be the first time you're seeing this, but it's really important for Google. So just take a picture of this so that you know what you need to do if you're not going to use Placer, right? Because Placer does this deeply.
Yeah,
that's number one. So take a picture of this. And number two, David, so Placer websites are AI searchable? Could you answer that, Casey? Kind of goes into with this.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny. It's kind of twofold. So your site being found by the AI is what we're talking about here. So that's the big checkbox. If we're thinking about the goal of how do we create content and then how do we use that content to get found, over on the left, the site briefing file, the structured data, check mark, Placer is going to do that for you with any content we create for you or that you create. We'll do this behind the scenes. There's some edit options if people want it. The second is Placer introduced AI search for your consumer. So to that point before about engaging strategically, point number 3, when your consumer goes to the site and they want to look around for information about, homes in an area, something on your site, they can use Placer's new AI search that's going to scan your website for answers as well.
Perfect. That answers it. What I would say as well is that, no, because remember, I flew out to Boston to meet these guys and work with them a few years ago during
Yeah,
COVID, I think it was.
yeah, it was. Yep.
So that was fun. Uh, they they not only have the right knowledge to have this work well. To me, the most impressive thing, and this is for everyone here, is that they actually care. Like you talk to Casey, he cares. You talk to Matt, he cares. You talk to everybody there, like they love doing this, but they also care about the results that you're going to have. That's why I was always impressed with their company. So, guys, if you're thinking about how to do this and how to show up better, I would automate this through Playster.
We got your back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's how I would do it. But
I talk to so many people after these webinars. Like, I tell people I'm accessible. Like, pick up the phone and call me. I talk to people that they want to use Playster. They're already using Playster. They're probably never going to use Playster, but they want advice. Like, this is a small industry, and so I tell people if it's not now, it's a year from now, 2 years from now that we'll bounce ideas off, or they'll ask for, hey, do you know how to do X or Y? So check it out. We flash this up there. We're doing 25% off any of our base subscriptions if you purchase through Playster. We want to give people not only a great price, but a great experience, and an experience that has results. So I'm going to do a few more of these and talk about, this is what I want to talk about quick. So 46% of internet traffic has local intent. So the idea that you're the local expert matters so much on a global SEO and AEO scale. And so don't forget that you being in a particular location holds so much heft. I don't know if you've seen this, the 17 to 67%. This is one that's been floating out there the last maybe like 3 or 4 weeks.
no,
So this is the jump from late 2024 to early 2026 in the number of home buyers who have used AI in their process.
Dang.
And they're watching traffic at all different parts of the funnel. Right? And that's why we try to hit and talk about content topics that range from all the different, whether they're looking for specific agents at the very bottom of the funnel, or they're looking for how does the process work, maybe a little further up, maybe they're looking for actual home. So just that whole funnel, people are there, they're engaging. You can look at demographic data that support this. So be there. And this last one's a killer, right? 91% of all the index real estate websites out there, they're ignored by AI engines.
That's pretty crazy, man.
It's even crazier when you look at the percent of the pie that actually gets considered for answers. They're saying it's probably 0.05% are what the AIs would consider trusted authorities for a lot of these core topics. And I don't say this to scare people and go, oh my gosh, 91% have been scanned and they're left behind and they did everything right. What the hell? This is like 91%. They're not even playing in the game, right? So, okay, you start to play in the game, you team up with somebody like Playster, where we've got you with the technology, we've got you with the automation. Welcome to the 9%. Okay, when you're in the 9%, let's get you to the 1%. Let's get you to that 0.5% that people are looking at as the authoritative source in their markets, because we see line of sight. The window is still open on this. If you're not doing it with us, do it with somebody, because you do not want to be stuck in that 91%. Okay, jumping on to trust and value. So this is going to be kind of double confirming, right? You need to do this stuff because your website needs to tell the AIs that you are trustworthy, you operate in the right markets, you've got something. Your blog content can't be enough, right? We talk about this. You've got to have a great reputation authority. So make sure your bio is up to date. Pitch people. Why you? Why is Tristan the guy to work with versus anybody else, right? You've got a flavor that people love, and that's what you want to get through when talking about how you can help. What's unique about you? I think visuals, right? So many of us we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we've got our sites, we're doing ads and emails. Like, it's all got to flow, because they start to see, like, some of our agents will use personal perspective, the wildest color purples or golds or greens. But guess what? It's everywhere. And I see a shade of green. I'm like, I know exactly what agent that is. It's got to all hit the same way. Reviews and testimonials, one might feel obvious, but you would be surprised at how many agents don't actually go and ask their clients for reviews and testimonials. And if you are doing this already, or you're going to start doing it, be specific. Hey, can you talk to the fact that we had to do credit repair, or, there were multiple bids? Like, try to get people to use language that's really specific to the experience. It helps so much in your credibility, both with the humans that are finding you and then with the engines that are looking for you. You're big on this one. Everyone here, number 4, I think we all believe this one, right? Having great social proof, getting video content out there for people to consume. I could read you a million stats about photos and videos helping with your content. And like, it also gives you the way to say, my business is my business, but I also have a personality, right? You, Tristan, jumping on a video, people get a quick, even if it's 10 seconds, they get a sense of your personality through that video that you really just don't get the same with in writing.
That's interesting, man, because I'm just going to use the example that I learned from you from our last session. Okay. I'm going to steal your screen and we're just going to go to Google.
Yeah.
So let me open up a tab on Google and then we're just going to
stop listening to me and start doing something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're just going to go live. Okay. We'll do it live. Let me
do it live. Yeah.
We're doing it live. Let me just stop sharing yours. Good. Can you see my Google page?
We see it. Look at that.
All right.
Soccer, football.
I'm in the Conejo Valley. So Father's Day in the Conejo Valley, right? And I just typed that in. Let me see if it goes through. And so you've got a few videos like you're mentioning, right?
Yep.
That I didn't do. I wish I did the videos. And then you mentioned social, right?
Yep.
Which I should have done, but I didn't. But I did write something, which is right there. That's mine. See, Tristan and Associates.
Love this.
So the fact that you're talking about if you combine both, like, dude, I should have combined both. I shouldn't have just stopped with this, right? And you could tell the date. Look, June 14th, 2026. That's when we wrote it.
Yeah.
And then you see the newness of this 18 hours ago Instagram
recap or something. Yeah. I mean, but you're in it, right? And that's the thing is you got to start somewhere, right? And I love that you can call this out. Hey, I wish I did the next and the next. But guess what? Take step 1, right? Don't be scared to take step 1. And there's plenty of green grass if you can get step 1 completed like you did. So there's a lot more out there. We got 2 more things to cover. The first is how your blogs are going to work in both ways. Again, I think this idea of new prospects, right? Having these embeds and CTAs throughout your post, you got to have it there, right? You got to be strategic about when you do it. You can be really light with it. You don't want to jam it down somebody's throat, but make sure there's an opportunity. You'd be surprised how many blogs I read where there's never a CTA. I couldn't even sign up if I wanted to. Don't miss that. The gated resource, just remember with gated resources, this is a thing that you've got to really have conviction on that they couldn't go find somewhere else. So that's the thing. And then having those CTAs that are specific to the topic, right? If you're talking about the Conejo Valley and there's something going on for Father's Day and you want to have a link from there, well, make sure that property search is about Conejo Valley. It's not a generic search for every home. They're already kind of there. Hey, what's my home worth in X area right there in the post? So it's there. You can do retargeting if you're going to spend some money, but I think there's a lot of ways to do it just with the organic traffic that shows up on those pages. Now, again, show some love to the people who have already shown love to you, right? This gives you a credible reason for your existing sphere to send out a post or send an email out. Not going to be salesy saying, hey, we just wrote about, what it was like to get, 10 offers on this home and have to, whatever it is, like tell the story quickly in your email. They don't want to read the whole blog post in your email and tease them back to your site. Same thing with social, right? These is perfect content to share on social. We love the new listings. We love the recently solds, but like people are going to be all at different stages of the funnel. Don't be scared to use social to post different topics that are different phases of the funnel. Yeah. The last two, or there's the last one I should say, be local, be in the groups, like be out there in a way that's not just self-promoting, but try to really be a local resource, right? If you think back to what made realtors so important 40 years ago, 50 years ago, it's because you couldn't go to the internet to look this up. So somebody had to be out there and accessible. So do the same thing, but in those internet communities. Doesn't always have to be like physically in person.
No, I agree.
All right. Run out of time. I want to talk about one more thing. We're going to show this live next time we meet, but I want to give people a taste because this is releasing tomorrow morning at Playster, which is our new automatic content creator. And so this is going to take all that research that we already do for people. We learn about your area. We learn about past, past performance. We reviews, testimonials, all that. We take all this. We create a business profile for you. And then we let you choose topics to write and publish content automatically. And obviously all this content is both AEO and SEO friendly. So meta titles, descriptions, all that, structured data, all that's going to be taken care of for you. So on the left-hand side, just a little snapshot, but we're doing all, every category you can imagine. I'd feel so bad for our team who poured over. The AI did the heavy lifting, right? But then the AI comes back and says, here's all the topics, team. What do you want? And so we labored over what topics we think are going to have the most impact for all the stuff we just talked about. And so you're going to get a variety of topics. You can preview them to make sure it has your flair. You can edit anything to sound like you more than what we already know. It's going to learn what you sound like to get better over time. You post this, you set up your schedule. You can do it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever works for you. And then there are going to be, content rich, AEO, SEO friendly, photos, call to actions, all of this and all of the content that we create for you. So again, we'll do a deeper dive next time we all meet, but I want to at least show people who are here.
Love this. Dude, I have a question on that.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, go back 2 clicks. One more. Okay. On the right where it says published everywhere you pick, explain how that's going to work to me, just so I know.
Yeah, 2 phases. So the first are a lot of people have more than one site, right? They've got micro sites, they've got neighborhood sites, they've got blog specific sites. So if you're in the Playster.org, you can decide what content shows up on which sites, because some sites might have different content strategies than others inside of our world. That's number one.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be the ability to do, meta posting. Hey, take this article and, create a post I can use on Meta. Getting access to business profiles, to do auto posting for business profiles on Facebook. We're thinking about LinkedIn. We're thinking about Instagram, all the places that somebody might normally go and have to copy and paste this new on their own. We want to do that automatically for you. But knowing that our strategy is your site is still the center of the orbit, right? The content, the core pillar piece of content lives on the site, and the other things point back to that site. So you continue to be this authoritative body of work on your Playster site.
Last question. I've had a lot of questions on this, damn it.
Yeah,
you had to wait until the end to show it to me?
My engineering team was going, it's tomorrow morning, it's tomorrow morning, it's tomorrow morning. It's getting in there. I'm showing everybody.
I have a question, and it'll probably help out a lot of people too. Okay, so let's say I go, if you want to fast forward to the last page, the results of what you were showing, that one.
Yeah.
If I have this finished result, I know that it's got the whole AEO, SEO down, right structure. Would you recommend that I also publish this on Substack exactly the same, or does that hurt me in some way? I don't know the answer to that.
So we've heard both. Most people will tell you to change it, and most people will tell you to change it out of the gate. Like the AI is going to post something, you let it sit for a week or 2, you go back and read it, and then you do updates even 2 or 3 weeks later. And then anywhere else you're going to put it, unless you're referencing directly back to the same article, if you're going to take the same content and repost the content, usually you're reposting it with some kind of change.
So would you, if then we go and could we use this new Playster product? Could we use it to just minimally change this and have it ready to go on Substack? Okay, perfect. That was my last question. All right, so then I'm going to be using it. Is there an extra fee for this?
People have already signed up for this in beta, and they're using it just as a blog website. They don't need like listings, whatever. They've got their listing site. They do all their other stuff. They're Real Scout, and they're now coming and saying, I really just want a site that I can blog from because I need to have great content. my whatever other tool isn't really built for that. We can do both. We can do it alongside of listing data. You can do it without listing data. It's going to be super exciting for people to bang around on this. I am pumped for our clients. I think it's going to make a massive impact.
I love this, man. All right. And this is included in which pricing tier? So
we're doing it as an add-on for Agent Plus or Agent Premier. Prices range from $10 a month to $25 a month. So very inexpensive for people to get into this. We don't want this stuff to be a barrier to entry anymore. That's like awesome, it was 5 years ago where, you had a room full of people who had to write this stuff and think about it and everything. There's just so much out there that we can pull from. And then you can add your local flair if you want. This is awesome, buddy. Thank you. You're welcome. I can't wait to show you guys all in depth next time. All right. Next time, everyone, that's what we're going to go into. Check out Playster QR code, 25% off. Dude, I always learn a lot from you. So thank you. This is the best. I love the group. Tristan, thanks so much for the time. Thank you, everybody. We'll keep you posted on the next group of people in Boston. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thanks. See you, everybody.